And just like that, Cleveland's quarterback plan went up in smoke. One snap, one misstep, one pulled hamstring. And the Browns' carefully constructed depth chart became a battlefield of improvisation, panic, and wild hope. Kenny Pickett is out. Shedeur Sanders is in. And the 2025 NFL season? Yeah, it just got chaotic. Because this isn't just an injury update. This is a franchise-altering plot twist. One that rips up the blueprint, exposes the cracks in the walls, and forces a rookie into the fire before his locker tags even dried. If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed. So buckle up. We're diving deep into the sudden quarterback coup happening in Cleveland, and why Shedeur Sanders is now the most important name in football. It was supposed to be a safe play, a bridge year. Kenny Pickett, former Steeler, former first-rounder, was brought in as a stabilizer, a placeholder QB who could hold the wheel while the Browns figure out what came next. He wasn't elite. He wasn't flashy, but he was steady. And then, pop. Not a hit, not a fluke, a step, a hyperextension on a rollout during red zone drills. And just like that, a torn hamstring. Grade 3. Surgery avoided, but recovery long. 12 weeks minimum. Translation: Kenny Pickett's season, at best, starts in December. At worst, it's over before it began. The Browns had a plan, but the football gods had other ideas. And suddenly, the future QB became the present one. Let's be honest. This wasn't how the Browns wanted it to go. Shedeur Sanders was supposed to sit, watch, learn, take third-team reps, and soak up the NFL grind before getting thrown into the meat grinder that is AFC North football. Instead, he's being handed the keys to a franchise that hasn't had a stable quarterback since MySpace was still a thing. No warning, no warm-up, just, hey kid, you're starting week 1. And that shift? That's not just a quarterback change. That's a full organizational reset. Within hours of Pickett's MRI results, everything changed. Stefanski and his staff pulled an all-nighter. The playbook was gutted and rebuilt, condensed down to its essentials, reshaped to fit Shedeur's strengths: timing throws, RPOs, bootlegs, quick reads, deep shots off play action. This wasn't a tweak. It was a total offensive makeover. In July, let's not pretend Shedeur Sanders is just some feel-good underdog story. The man has pedigree, swagger, and game. But here's what people forget. This dude was a 5th-round pick. Not because of talent, because of narratives. He was too polished, too media-savvy, too connected to Dion. He was written off as a brand, not a baller. And now, he's QB1 for the Cleveland Browns. Whether the league is ready or not, in the locker room, players are already rallying. Veteran linemen are staying after practice to go through blitz pickups with him. Receivers are getting extra reps in the indoor facility late at night. Even defensive backs are pulling him aside to talk coverages. This isn't lip service. This is buy-in. Because what they've seen at camp, off-script throws, command at the line, confidence in chaos, isn't normal rookie stuff. It's QB1 energy. And after years of cycling through half-baked experiments and bad contracts, Cleveland might finally have someone worth betting on. Of course, behind the scenes, it's chaos. The Browns front office is caught in a full-blown philosophical civil war. One side, led by GM Andrew Berry, want a veteran, a stopgap, a Case Keenum type, someone who won't cost a fortune but can keep the ship afloat while Shedeur develops more gradually. The other side, that's ownership. That's Jimmy Haslam. And he's not just leaning into the Shedeur hype. He's driving the bandwagon. Merch sales are spiking. Social media engagement is at an all-time high. Local news can't stop talking about Primetime Junior, and Haslam sees the vision. A new era. A bold, media-savvy, electric quarterback who moves product and fills seats. This isn't just about football anymore. It's business. And Shedeur? He's suddenly the most important asset the Browns have. On the field, off the field, in the future. Which means get ready for tension. Because if he struggles, The calls for a vet will be deafening. If he shines, the front office will pretend they believed in him all along. Either way, this is no longer a quiet rebuild. This is a spotlight moment. Around the NFL, defensive coordinators are already licking their chops. They've seen what happens when rookie QBs are thrown into the fire too soon. Confusion, hesitation, turnovers, pressure, a lot of pressure. And now they got 4 weeks to prep for a kid with no pro starts, no full-speed preseason game tape, and a playbook that's being rebuilt on the fly. It's open season. But here's the flip side. No film means no predictability. And with the Browns simplifying, leaning into motion-heavy, run-pass option looks with zone read and bootlegs, Sanders becomes dangerous, not just because of his legs, but because he knows how to read leverage, because he's got the arm to hit back shoulder throws against press, because he's been playing grown man football his entire life. Literally, this isn't your average rookie who needs a year to catch up. He's already here. It's just a matter of whether the Browns let him play his game or chain him to the ghosts of their playbook past. So here we are, Shedeur Sanders, Week 1 starter. No net, no parachute. The Brown season, once framed around cautious optimism and steady growth, is now a high-wire act. If Shedeur thrives, he doesn't just take the job, he keeps it. And Pickett might not see the field again, ever. If he falters, it's back to the drawing board. Again, there's no middle ground. Every week will be a referendum. Every throw will be dissected. Every press conference will be judged. And Shedeur, he knows it. He's been trained for it. Because this isn't just about proving the doubters wrong. It's about rewriting the rules. The Cleveland Browns didn't plan for this. They didn't expect a rookie quarterback with a camera-ready name and a Pro Bowl arm to become the heartbeat of the franchise overnight. But now, they're living it. And if Shedeur Sanders rises to the moment, if he holds his own, leads the locker room, and puts the Browns in playoff contention, this won't be remembered as the year everything fell apart. It'll be remembered as the year everything finally clicked. So here's the question. Is this the beginning of Cleveland's next great chapter, or just another detour on their long road to nowhere? One way or another, we're about to find out. So don't blink, because Shedeur Sanders just took the wheel, and the ride is only getting started. The first week of Shedeur Sanders' unexpected QB1 reign in Cleveland doesn't begin with a press conference. It begins with silence. A different kind of focus has settled over the Browns' practice facility. Cameras still roll, microphones still click, but inside the locker room, the mood is quieter, more surgical. Players aren't rallying around a savior. They're bracing with him, preparing beside him. It's not hype now, it's real. And it's loud in all the ways that matter. Film room whiteboards, cleats thudding across turf, the crisp thwop of perfectly timed passes hitting chest plates during walk-throughs. Shedeur isn't celebrating. He's studying. No one has to tell him that the moment is bigger than his stat line. He knows how fast this league eats its own. 1 bad game, you're a bust. 2, you're trending. 3, you're replaced. It doesn't matter what your name is. Especially when your name comes with expectation, scrutiny, and every sports talk show panel looking to dissect your every facial expression. He's felt that pressure before. At Jackson State, when doubters said he was just playing against subpar competition. At Colorado, when every win was chalked up to prime, and every loss was pinned on him. Now in Cleveland, he steps into the huddle not as the understudy, but as the showrunner. Every move is under a microscope. The veterans around him feel it too. Joel Bitonio, Amari Cooper, David Njoku. They're not rookies anymore, and they've seen quarterbacks come and go with alarming regularity. But this is different, because the kid's command is real. He isn't just parroting play calls. He's adjusting them. He isn't just asking questions. He's offering corrections. And it's not bravado. It's clarity. The coaching staff sees it as well, and that's where the internal struggle gets real. Because on paper, you still have a rookie, a 5th-round pick, a guy who wasn't supposed to touch the field until Halloween, if at all. But in the film room, on the practice field, the excuses are drying up. Shedeur's reads are sharp. His anticipation on timing routes is textbook. The velocity on his throws gives defenders no time to recover. The mistakes he makes, because yes, there are still mistakes, aren't mental. They're mechanical, fixable, normal rookie stuff. He'll overstep a throw under pressure, drift on his plant leg, but he comes back, asks the right question, and nails it the next rep. That's what's unnerving about him. He's a rookie who doesn't think like one, and that scares people. Because when you build your franchise around a high-priced starter, your backup isn't supposed to look like a better investment. You're not supposed to feel this tempted, but the Browns are feeling it. The calls for Shedeur to start Week 1 aren't just coming from Twitter threads anymore. They're coming from inside the building. Position coaches, scout team defenders, even veterans who once rolled their eyes at the Sanders surname are suddenly defending the kid behind closed doors. And the front office? They're scrambling. Meetings are happening late at night. Phone calls are being made, not just about veteran insurance, but about marketing rollouts, ticket sales strategies, social media messaging. The business side of the team has already committed. The football side, still flinching. Meanwhile, Shedeur is unbothered, not because he's arrogant, but because he's been living in this tension his whole life. He knows what it means to have the lights on too early, the critics too loud, the pressure too high. He's the kind of quarterback who welcomes it, not because he wants to smoke, but because he is the smoke. Practice by practice, the playbook grows again. They start layering in new looks, pre-snap motion, jet sweep fakes, dual read options. And Shedeur eats it up. He's not overwhelmed. He's curious. That's the difference. He doesn't flinch when he makes a mistake. He files it away and attacks the next rep like it owes him something. His timing with receivers tightens every day. He's building chemistry with Amari Cooper on deep comeback routes, getting Njoku into rhythm on seam patterns. He's even extending plays on broken coverages and dropping dimes on the run, bringing flashbacks to the kind of mobile, cerebral quarterback the Browns haven't seen in years, if ever. But this isn't a movie montage. There's no guarantee this ends with a hero shot. The real NFL isn't scripted. It's messy. Defensive coordinators are already prepping blitz packages that'll test every inch of Shedeur's composure. They'll disguise coverages, bait rookie eyes, force bad decisions. The preseason games ahead aren't just warm-ups. They're trials by fire. And the Browns? They have to decide now whether to protect Shedeur or unleash him. One side says start slow, bring in a veteran like Jacoby Brissett or Colt McCoy. Let Shedeur study more, build a foundation. Don't ruin him by rushing. Let him come in during a soft stretch of the schedule, Week 5, maybe Week 6. Let the game slow down. The other side says no. You don't teach this kind of feel. You don't hold back a guy who's ready. You rip the Band-Aid off and let him learn while winning. Because here's the reality. Cleveland's roster is good. This isn't a rebuild. It's not a team in limbo. They've got a playoff-caliber defense, elite skill players, and one of the best offensive lines in the AFC. That's why this decision feels so urgent. The window is now. And if Shedeur can give them even 80% of what they're seeing in practice, why wait? What complicates things even more is what the fans are seeing. Preseason clips go viral. Sanders throwing absolute lasers to tight windows, breaking the pocket, and delivering strikes while on the move. There's one play, a sideline bullet to Cedric Tillman that threads between two defenders. That gets over 2 million views in 24 hours. The city is catching on. Cleveland hasn't had this kind of quarterback buzz since Baker Mayfield's rookie run, and we all know how that ended. But Shedeur isn't Baker. He's quieter, more analytical, less concerned with being beloved, more focused on being right. And that seriousness? It's drawing in players and fans alike. Now the Browns front office is on the clock. The marketing department wants to launch a Sanders-centered campaign before the first preseason game. Merch demand is already spiking, especially from younger fans and black football audiences who see Sanders as a culture-shifting presence. This isn't just a quarterback. It's a movement. But movements are risky. If Shedeur gets shelled in Week 1, the backlash will be brutal. If he throws 3 picks on national television, the talking heads will pounce. The team's delicate internal balance will shatter. So Stefanski's staff does something clever. In closed practices, they run mock game scripts. Full speed, simulated pressure. They call in defenders from the second unit and tell them to go full tilt. See if Shedeur panics. He doesn't. He calls protections, adjusts routes, takes hits, and most importantly, he finishes drives. After one particular session, a defensive assistant reportedly pulls Stefanski aside and says, "He's already better than half the guys starting in this league." That's when the tide turns. Not because of a headline, not because of a marketing plan, but because football guys, the hardest ones to win over, start nodding in approval. Shedeur's not just holding his own. He's elevating the guys around him. The noise around Berea is no longer a murmur. It's a roar. What started as a training camp subplot has become the dominant headline, not just in Cleveland, but across the NFL. And yet inside the facility, Shedeur Sanders remains unfazed. If he hears the chatter, he doesn't show it. If he feels the pressure, he channels it into poise. For a rookie quarterback pushed into the spotlight before the preseason even kicks off, he wears the moment like armor, not baggage. That, more than anything, is why this moment feels real. It isn't just the throws or the reads or the box score. It's the energy, the way veterans talk to him in the huddle, the way defensive players nod when he makes the right call, the way the coaching staff, once cautiously optimistic, now schedules quarterback meetings around his calendar. He's not a placeholder. He's the pivot point. The Browns didn't plan this. No one did. Kenny Pickett was supposed to hold down the fort. Maybe Deshaun Watson returns. Maybe a midseason trade. Sanders was plan D. Now he's plan A. And the team is adjusting in real time, building not just an offense but a philosophy around him. It starts with structure. Stefanski and his staff tear down the overly complex third down packages designed for veteran signal callers and replace them with quick decision concepts, empty formations, simplified hot reads, a moving pocket. The offense is now built to move with Shedeur, not make him fit a mold. And guess what? It's working. In joint practices, defenders are late, passes are early, receivers are open before they break. When the play breaks down, Shedeur doesn't panic. He adapts. One moment, he's firing a laser across the middle. The next, he's breaking contain and turning a sack into a 12-yard scramble. These aren't highlight plays. They're winning plays, and they're consistent. NFL locker rooms can smell phony. They know when a guy is manufactured hype. Shedeur's authenticity is winning people over fast. He listens more than he talks. He stays after practice to throw. He takes film notes by hand. He asks veterans for tips instead of giving speeches. His approach is serious without being stiff, confident without being cocky. The offense responds. Receivers run sharper routes. Linemen hold their blocks a beat longer. The entire tempo shifts. Not because they're afraid of letting him down, but because they believe in what he's building. And then there's the locker room. At first, some were skeptical. You walk in with a Sanders name, cameras in your face, and every media outlet ready to crown you. It raises eyebrows. But the attitude, the grind, it speaks louder than any surname. Guys like Nick Chubb, Amari Cooper, and even defensive leaders like Myles Garrett have taken notice. They're not just tolerating the kid. They're starting to trust him. That trust matters, because what happens next will test every ounce of it. The preseason opener is days away, and while the Browns won't officially name a starter, insiders already know it's Shedeur. The game plan is built around him. The reps are his. The moment has arrived. And the opponent? A playoff team with a top 10 defense. It's not going to be pretty. It doesn't have to be. But the NFL doesn't give out warm-up games. From the first snap, Shedeur will see exotic blitzes, disguised coverages, and defensive coordinators desperate to prove that hype doesn't equal success. But that's fine, because Shedeur isn't trying to prove them wrong. He's trying to prove Cleveland right. When he jogs onto the field that first time, he's not alone. He carries with him a city's hope, a locker room's belief, and a legacy shaped by years of doubt and preparation. He's not supposed to be here yet, but he is, and he's ready. That's the thing about pressure. It either crushes you or crystallizes you. And Shedeur Sanders? He looks like he's about to shine.